Welcome to our living room here at innovaphone headquarters in Germany. What we want to show you today is we want to introduce you to some of the highlights of our new release. Mainly, actually, as you can see, the new Softphone app. Yeah, Christian will show you the in and outs of that. Yeah, the new, basically the new way how to do online meetings and how to work together with our new innovaphone conferencing. Some connectors presence management, which is very interesting, especially since, well, presence is a very difficult actually topic. So we're going to show you a little bit about that. The new innovaphone recording, also on the Softphone, quite exciting. The authentication via OAuth 2, and you know, there is a lot more, some smaller things, you know, being part of the new release. Yeah. Well, let's start right away with actually the new Softphone.
Yeah. Thank you. And that one too. Okay. So hello from my side as well. And yes, actually, Alex, before I start to present some new features like the contacts app and the presence management you've already talked about, I just want to inform you how we are showing it today. What you will see here is our GDPR-conform marketing platform, where we are allowed to show all of the people and the names behind it with the present status, which is always a little bit critical. And for your understanding, in that marketing PBX, I will have the part of Luca. I have my colleague Julia with me, and thank you, Pamela, for participating today as Susan Sommer. Okay, so
just before we start, actually, we wanted to know who of you have actually already tried out or installed version R3. Yeah, so we prepared a little survey here. I mean, yeah, it's not that difficult. I mean, there's not that many options, so let's wait maybe 10 more seconds. And then, all right. Thank you for participating.
Yeah.
And yeah, now we can start. Sorry.
Yeah. But of course, now I'm curious, Pamela, who has already myApps in use, the version 13r3? Sorry.
So the result of the survey is that 53% already used the version V13r3, and 48% have not used it so far.
Okay, well, so it's still space to improve for everyone, but I think 52 was it?
53.
53, I think. That's actually already a quite big number, because, as Alex said, we have released it now 1.5 months ago. So and we know that sometimes the people want to wait for the first service releases, but the feedback that we've received so far is that it's incredibly reliable. And yes, the feature set that we've brought and the new functionality is very massive. So thank you for playing around with it already today. Okay. So, as I've already said, what you see here is that I am using our GDPR-conform marketing myApps platform. And what I want to show you with that, or in my part, is a lot of new functions with the contacts app, with the presence management, and of course the new UI of the Softphone and the phone app, in combination with a lot of functions that we've brought with it. And before I start really to present the new UI of the Softphone app, I want to start what I thought of how to present it. And actually, I want to show you several ways of using the myApps client in combination with the Softphone app. So what do I mean with that? what we see here right now is the UI or the situation when I use the myApps client in a full screen mode. So where does it make sense? It makes sense everywhere where a user really has the myApps client as the main user interface for all of his applications, as we see here. Or of course, if people are having 1, 2, 3 screens, Alex, I think you're like me, you have one with your laptop,
Yes,
but when you walk through our office, you really see everything. There are people with 2 monitors with their laptop next to it, but sometimes the same people, for example, like me, when we are on the road, we are only using our small notebook, and for that situation, we really need to use the myApps client with the Softphone app, maybe in a different way. And exactly, and I want to show you today how these situations can be solved with the flexibility of the Softphone app and the new UI there. Okay, but before I start with the presentation of the Softphone app, what you see here, can you just please give me the mouse pad?
Sorry.
Yeah, thank you. Is I go on the home screen on the right top corner to the so-called burger menu. And there, if I, for example, go to edit profile, my call diversions, there is now a new option, which is call forwarding when offline on myApps. So what does that mean and what is the value add of that? I just make the small little Shiba. So what does that mean? That means as soon as I am offline on my myApps client, the call diversion that I have used here works. So as you see, I am now using it. I've switched it on. So when it's to no response, then there will be a call diversion because when I'm offline, which means, for example, that is what we see so often, when someone is just using the Softphone app, not a desk phone anymore, and then they shut down their laptops and PC when they go away, or if they have the offline mode after 5 minutes, for example, they really want to have an automatic, let's say, most automated call diversion, and that is what we have implemented with that. So then the call diversion works as it would be for no response. And that was a feature request that we've heard so often, because the trend goes more and more into a pure Softphone app usage. And with that, we have solved the issue of not being able to make it easily with the desk phone on the table. So that's one of the many presence management solutions that you've talked about. So it's one of those. I will make it out again. So what else? I am now going to the Contact app. And you all already know, especially you, because I think when we would have made a survey of who's using version 13 in general, we would have probably 100%, of course, nowadays. So you already all know the Contacts app. But on the right top corner, you see an adjustment in the Contacts app. It is a plus. And with that plus, I am able, me as Christian, as a user, to add to a directory that I'm allowed to use. For example, let's take the last one. I can now insert here a number, +49, I just leave the mobile away, the email, and I can insert a name. Let's take Alex Presta. Works for the company Hello. I just save it, and then Alex Presta is added to the directory that I've just chosen, which would be available for me, for example, as a personal contact or in any directory that I've added it. So with that, I can add flexible contacts to my database just for me or for several users.
For certain groups, exactly. And there is, as you're used to, also like an admin app or in the Contacts admin app, where you can actually control the access to those to those directories, different directories. Correct.
Yes. And from my perspective, that is actually a really cool feature, because there you can indeed solve all of these issues by using a general directory or personal directory out of the
Correct.
PBX. You don't actually need so much around it. You can solve everything with the myApps app platform and the Contacts app.
Correct.
Okay. So what else do I want to show from here? There's the plus, and above the plus, you may see a small little sign, which is the possibility to pin that app. What do I mean when I pin that app? I just show it to you. I'm clicking on that logo, and that app in concrete, that my Contacts app is now not only just added, because added to the taskbar is always when I open it. No, when I exit now the Contacts app, it stays there, and not only for that session, it stays there for the for every time when I shut down my laptop or my mobile and open it again. It will always be there. So there, for me as a user, I have the possibility to create, for a comfortable usage and for a fast usage, of course, a taskbar. For example, I just add the chat app 2 to it, and I add, what else do I need? Maybe a switchboard app, huh?
Yes, of course.
The switchboard app can be added to it. And now every time I'm Xing these ones, they don't disappear. They just stay here in the taskbar for, as I've already said, a very fast and comfortable access to it.
Yeah, I mean, we've also seen in our offices, actually, our myApps clients actually get quite crowded. So this just makes, it's just easing the work with the myApps client even further. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, and what else do we have? So let's start with the Softphone app. But before I introduce to you now the new UI and the new functions that we've integrated into the Softphone or phone app, is that there's another option. And as you see, I've now opened up the Softphone app, and I haven't pinned it, but I could even pin it. But now I want to pull it to that little field. I just do it again to that little field, which is so-called the Focus app field. I move it to there, and that means the Focus app that I have chosen as a user is my app, which is actually the dominant one. That is always the visible one when I start my myApps client in the morning on the smartphone or whatever. So for all of the ones that want to use the myApps client, especially as a telephony client, I'm using that word, they can use the Focus app in combination with the Softphone app.
Yeah.
But we wanted to keep the flexibility for every user. So there might be users that use the Focus app for the chat app, for the switchboard app, or for any third-party app that we have there out in the market. So the Focus app, as said, is the dominant app for the usage. And to show you maybe a little bit more how it works, I just jump to the switchboard app. I'm closing the switchboard app, and I don't go into the home screen. I always end up, so to speak, in the Focus app that I've defined for.
Yeah. And then what just for once, usually we always love that it's always the same client on any device. But for once, this is actually not the case, because here, I mean, if you use it on your mobile phone, the usage might be completely different than on your PC, obviously. And there, for example, I do have my Softphone or my RCC app actually in as the Focus app, so that I can, well, usually on my cell phone, I use it mainly to call people. So I end up there a lot faster.
Yes, exactly. So let's go on with the new UI. For me personally, one of really the highlights of the version 13r3 with the new functions. So let's start it first. So what is immediately seen is that panel here. So you have your favorites that you can define for yourself, and the history in two separated apps. What is the huge value add for me? I really have approximately 20 of my favorites. And if I really just want to go and have a look, what are my missed calls? Who do I want to call back? Especially on a smartphone, that makes it very useful. I just go to the history and have an easy overview of all of my missed calls, active past calls, and so on and so forth. Then another new cool function is to be able to make out of the Softphone app your call diversions. So if I want to have it always when busy or with no response, and that can be done everything out of the Softphone app on your PC, on your web application, Mac, and a smartphone. And what is cool, I just make it. I make the call diversion for busy, and then I see immediately on the top left corner, a little bit below the present status, is that I have the call diversion on busy. What means I always really see it, though I'm not in the home screen or my profile app. I see it out of the Softphone app, which makes it easy for me to control my call diversions and really to see, for example, that what happens always to me. I go to holiday. I'm using the always call forwarding to the inside sales team every time when I go to the holidays, and then I immediately see it when I come back. So when I come back from holidays, I just take it out because it ended up over there. And then, of course, it's a search field. I don't have to tell too much about that. Yeah. Okay, let's go on with showing how the new UI looks like when we do our call. So for that, as already said, I've taken my little helpers with me, Julia and Susan. So I just initiate now a call. So, hello, Alex. So let's mute the both of us. So what you see here is already one of the biggest improvements from my side. It is that on the top on the corner in the middle, you have the possibility to control some things. So it would be, for example, the view. So if I just want to have view like that, or if I want to have the gallery view.
Yes, please.
Yeah, the gallery view, where we see each other, where we see each other next to each other, where we see each other next to each other. That's interesting, huh? Because it happens here now. Exactly. Then I would have the possibility to use some phone functionality, like to put him on hold, to park him, to make a transfer, and of course to use the DTMF keypad. Then with media, and now that's very important, because one of the biggest requests that we had all the time was we need function keys in the myApps client or in the Softphone. That was actually so much more. And there was always the question, yes, we can bring every single function key into the Softphone app or into the myApps client, but would it make it actually user-friendly? No. So the idea is actually to have, of course, the focus on the topic of telephony and UC, but of course, you have the option in addition on the smartphone too, to make, for example, the call recording. So what is possible nowadays too is to make a call recording with the Softphone app, and that is what we solved with the media panel of media. I make the audio recording. So, Mr. Mrs. Julia, you're getting recorded right now. Yeah. And now I stopped the recording, for example. Yeah. And that is the idea with the media panel and with this with some other functions to be able to to fill the myApps client and the Softphone app with further functionality. From my perspective, very, very well solved. And then, of course, when you go to the media, you can switch on or switch off your camera, or to make the application sharing. Okay. So then on the left side, you have the panel to be able to see all of your favorites that we've just said. It's the favorite panels.
And who your favorites are in.
And who my favorites are in with the present status, exactly. And on the right side, you would have the active call panel, so to speak, where you would, for example, again, be able to put someone on hold, to transfer, and to have the function keys like the DTMF.
Yeah.
And what you see here is the possibility to do everything out of the full screen mode. But as I've already said in the beginning, there are so many options to use it, and we want to give the user the flexibility and the freedom to do whatever they want to do with it. And what we see is that most of the users nowadays are using the myApps client like that. So they're having it in a small mode with the somewhere maybe undocked, somewhere in the middle or more on the left side. And there, again, I have the media panel here. I have my videos here in the middle with the gallery view. I can now have a look on my favorites and to my active calls. And if I want to go back to the video, I just go in here. I've now made Alex a little bit bigger, and now with the gallery view again.
Yeah.
And what makes it, from my perspective, so cool is that usage and that's how I work, is I don't want to have it like that in a non-docked mode. I really want to have it docked on the left side. Let's just put that one down here. And I have that view, and I haven't explained on the view panel, you have the possibility to click it out. And if I do that, I have now docked out only the media panel, which gives me the flexibility and for me the best choice as an option, because I have the media panel here, my active calls here, and I can always switch even to both sides to have the video, for example, here. And what gives me the possibility, for example, to make it very easy to add someone or to make the PBX functionality, so to speak. So, for example, if I now want to add Susan Sommer, I can use it if I go to the phone and make a transfer, as we see here, or I can just call Susan. Alex Julia will automatically be put on hold. Hello, Susan. Thank you for participating. And as you now see here on the left side, I now have the complete control about the call with Julia, who is on hold, where I could take it, or I can make a three-party conference, or I can combine these two. And that is to connect these two. And that is what I will do now. I will make the transfer. And now we see that Susan is connected to Julia. And what happened here so far is exactly that there were three different possibilities to use the myApps client in combination with the Softphone app with the new flexibility. We have inserted the function keys like the voice recording, which brings me to another idea to show you where you find the recordings in the end. That's what I will want to show you in a second. And in the end, that brings the total flexibility depending on the device you're working with. Okay.
Yeah, and really, you can, as always, with myApps, the user, or you in that case, you can really make it work in a way how it is best for you. And as we always say, in a company, everyone works differently. Some are privileged in our company and have three screens. We still have to work our way up to that, and so everyone works a little bit differently. And I think that's the real big advantage to like a monolithic client, where basically the client depends on how you work with it. And this is not the idea how we see a good solution working. Yeah.
Yes. And now I just go to the home screen again, because as you've seen, I've made the audio recording. And where do you find it? You would see it now in the Recordings app, which is the app where I can see, as in that case, Luca, all of my recordings. So we have the recording now here. I can play it, I can download it, and so on, which makes it from a voice recording perspective, incredibly cool because it is easy, incredibly cost efficient, and though very powerful. And that is what, from my perspective, is one of the other big improvements, that it's now available with the Softphone app.
Yeah. And when you speak of Softphone app, we can also think of all the devices where you use your Softphone app on.
Yes.
And that is a real cool thing, what I think, right? Because basically you can also use it whether, as I've just done here with the iPad, or also on your cell phone. And talking about, I don't know, threat calls, or if you just want to make sure you remember what the customer said, and if you have his permission to record, you can just simply do it also on your cell phone. It is very simple to use.
Yes, and something else that I just want to repeat, or probably I start now with it, but I repeat it maybe later again. The Softphone app is with version 13r3 redundant, with the same procedure as we have with the PBX redundancy. So it is a redundant Softphone for, as you've already said, for all of your devices. Okay.
Yeah.
So
thank you. And this is very important and the base for what we are talking about now, because now we basically talk to two people, and we looked at it how you can, if you're in a conversation, basically when you're just with two people. But what I would actually like to show you now, when you're in a conference and if you work actually with more people. And for this, I mean, you probably all know our so basically, yes, that's the idea. And as you can see here, you know our conference app already, and something was actually not only happening on the on the iPad, but also here in the conference app, and you can see here the badge count. There are already 2 people in there. So yeah, let's join the party. And it is Julia. Hello, Julia, and our good friend Susan Summer. She's everywhere showing up. And so yeah, I can easily see here now who has already joined the conference. Which, for example, makes it very useful. Every Friday, for example, we have this big colloquium here, an internal event where we discuss the latest news or releases or something to inform the entire company. And sometimes I'm too lazy to look up whether there is actually an actual topic, whether it's actually happening. So yeah, I just have our conference room ready, and if I know on Fridays at 2 the batch count is increasing, it is very likely either that all people are also lazy and just didn't look it up, and just by being secure wanted to call in, but actually more likely that something is happening. Yeah. So here I see all my internal participants. If I want to have also now external participants, I have 2 ways of basically doing that. I can do it just basically spontaneously with this link, easy web link. I can just send it. I can copy it, directly email it, or also send it out as a calendar invite. I will show you that in a bit. Or also, if you have a little bit more time, schedule a temporary meeting ahead of time with actually you can tell the resources and the time and the date. Yeah, so let's just also see basically. Okay, so excuse me, this is okay. So as you can see here, immediately a calendar invite pops up with your mail program. In this case, it is Outlook with all the information that you need, which is because of what Christian has said before. We were using our GDPR conform show PBX, marketing PBX here is a little bit incomplete. Usually you would also see an option to call in via via audio, like via telephone call, right? Okay, but we're not.
So you want to tell me now that you don't need a plugin somewhere in your Outlook calendar. You can use only myApps for that?
Correct. And then you can also, I can show you this, how easy it is talking about plugins, right? So basically, this is maybe a little bit more well known of what you've already seen. This is basically when you click on the link, what you see now in your browser, and yeah, again, you just choose your devices. You can already see that you're late basically to the party, and then yeah, you write in your name, and then you could enter the conference. Yeah, no plugin. It is really easy to use for all parties involved. All right. Okay, but the way how we work and how it actually, what makes it even, where it is also quite unique in terms of like the other solutions is, I can also just, as an internal member, as an internal member, I can now just call in the conference just with one click. Okay, let's do a full screen. And then you can see here, obviously, and then I'm already in the conference, and I have all the options that I have also both with the new Softphone, what Christian has just told us. By the way, also with audio recording. Yeah. But also I have even more options. For example, if Susan and Julia are chatting at it again, and I can't get a word in, I can also just raise my hand and tell people that I want to speak.
It helps for the meeting culture, right?
Yes, absolutely. Actually, yeah. And the great thing of it is that in those this is basically bringing together the best of both worlds in my sense, because yeah, you don't need to if you have especially like a regular meeting or like a team meeting, for example, and you don't always have to send out the link internally. No, you just said, okay, let's meet in room 1, for example, or room sales it is in our case. Yeah. And so it is really easy, it is really convenient, and also basically the best solution I've seen so far for hybrid working, honestly, because yeah, everyone can come to room 1, may it be physically or yeah, in the conference. Yeah, exactly. All right, then thank you, you two. Let's go back here, just as a quick summary. Let's talk do a little bit more of a PowerPoint. Again, a quick summary here. It's an easy way to meet, online or hybrid, as I said. Spontaneous or planned, also what I showed you. What is very important is also the secure access and control, and we actually have, and this is also quite unique for such a solution, like it is actually end-to-end encrypted. What is also quite unique is you can have this solution on-premise and or in the cloud. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to run in the cloud. And well, it is all happening out from one app. You only need one source where you can organize basically everything. Yeah.
So Alex, again, so I have now an IP 1613 here and an IP 511.
Mm-hmm.
So these are conference servers too.
Correct, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Up to 60 users tested so far,
Mm-hmm.
but for the most part. That's more than what you need. Yeah. So yeah, you can also in environments where maybe the connection to the internet is not as stable, and yeah, have a conference solution ready for you.
But actually, not only there. So every customer who's already having an innovaphone gateway,
oh yeah,
could use it, right?
Absolutely, it is very easy to upgrade. You're absolutely right about that. Yeah, you can just add it to your solution. Yeah, here I just want to show you if you want to have a user guide. Oh, I didn't actually. That's really good for me because I didn't show you the list of participants and the chat area. Sorry, which you can also see. Just a quick summary of the user interface. We can also send you that if you want, or even better, actually try it out. What I wanted to show you here is just a quick proof. Actually, this is what it looks like in full when you have actually also the zip trunk. When you also have the zip trunk connection. Yeah. Okay. Ooh. That is comes a little bit fast, but okay. Now I said we were already talking about presence and being busy in a meeting and so on, and yeah, I mean it is actually nowadays it is a very interesting topic with remote working a lot of times, with being on so many meetings through the web browser, and but you also still have a telephone solution, right? And then you're also showing your presence in a lot of different tools, like and how to bring that together, that actually presence also means what, like that the presence is actually correct, what the people see. We also actually have a very good, I think it was in the blog or a white paper, I think in the blog, it was a very insightful piece of our colleague Johannes Novak. So it's worth a read about different presence. Okay, so it was just in the wrong order. I apologize for that. So how we have it solved already, the presence in the first part, also with like the remote working, for example, or when you're on vacation. So how we have solved that here is actually we have in our PBX manager, we have a little plugin where we can have the calendar presence mapping. What does that mean? For example, when you're saying being in a different place, for example, you want to show your colleagues, oh, okay, I am available, but today I'm in the home office. Or you want, maybe nowadays, if actually the exception of the rule is that you're in the office, you also want to show that, right? But you always want to show, you want to give that as an information in the myApps, but at the same time, you want to be available, right? It's just like an additional information. And here you can actually do this. You can actually show it then if the calendar, if you say being at a different, being in the home office, for example, you're supposed to show up as available. On the other hand, for example, yes, now you're sick, for example, and in our case, we send an email to our HR department, and our HR department then sends us a calendar invite so that it shows that we are sick. Well, I am sick, so I don't want to. I still can't accept it, or I'm not on my phone. So, and just to make sure that everyone can actually see that, basically there is a tentative exception. There's an override mechanism, so to say, for that it will show you that I'm sick. The same thing, and that is actually quite amazing to me, is here. You can see it here when it says vacation. For example, sometimes I forget to delete all kinds of appointments when I'm on vacation, and then obviously it switches over. So, and then some people think, oh yeah, okay, he is in that meeting, so he must be back from vacation. No, so you can actually tell people, tell the calendar, sorry, here that some prioritized words in your respective language, vacation, and then it overrides it. So this is actually a very cool way how to give accurate presence information with myApps. Yeah. Right. Well, yeah, what has already been announced, we've also worked on that by request. So basically what we can do now, we can do a presence exchange with Microsoft Teams by connecting using the Graph API and connecting to the Azure cloud. So basically when you are in a Teams meeting, that in the myApps client will take over that and will show you as busy, but not only as busy, but also as on the call, so that really no one, when you're in a Teams meeting, can actually call you, and that you're actually not available during a Teams meeting. The same way. Also the other way around, when you're on a phone call in myApps, it actually shows you as busy in Teams. Well, that's the entire magic of it, actually. Yeah. Which obviously, okay, yes, we have that, but now with the myApps meeting, actually, we might not even need that anymore, because you always have the correct presence in myApps now, and you can only use it for one client. But that actually makes me think now. We have a little question for you prepared. What is it actually that you use as your main conference system? Well, so it was not as detailed. Sometimes we don't want to know, but yeah, the main question is: are you already using myApps as your main conference system? I do. That makes me very happy. Okay, this time you have three answers to choose from, but I think we might already move on. What was actually the result? Will it make me happy?
So the result of this survey was that 18% say, of course, they're already using.
18.
Yes, 18.
Nice.
But 77% are saying that they're using a different conferencing system. And 8% say that now that they have seen your presentation, they will definitely use.
Yeah, that's a commitment.
Yes.
We know who clicked what. We can follow. No, we don't. But all right, okay, yes, I can see that, but I hope that these numbers will change also a little bit.
Yeah, but what do we do with that 77%?
Yeah, well, yeah, there is actually also a solution for that, because I mean, yeah, we accepted reality that there are actually a lot of conference systems out there, and for this we actually have a solution, which is the innovaphone myApps connector for Quando. So basically, you might have heard of the Quando or of the Busy Light already, like as the physical hardware. Which is actually quite useful, I have to say, especially in the home office. So yeah, my wife, when she knows that I'm actually like on a call, and it's actually red, for example. But what we have also done now is there is also a software-only version for it, and Quando actually has a connector to all kinds of various conference systems. Be it Teams, WebEx, Zoom, because yeah, this is the reality. I mean, there is a lot of solutions out there, and yeah, you can download it, you can license it, and basically, yeah, it will always show the correct presence then in myApps when you're busy in a conference. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now actually basically a completely different topic, but nonetheless important, is that we now have the myApps OAuth 2, or rather we have actually implemented OAuth 2 in myApps, which basically is the latest secure standard of how to log it in. It basically is a little bit, my colleague actually put it correctly. It's a little bit when you try to log in somewhere and you have the option use Google, use Facebook or something like that. It basically is similar to that, at least from the user's perspective, so that we use actually the Active Directory Federation. Now, okay, which just the main thing that you need to know, it's the latest standard in secure login. Yeah, and wow, well, it's actually already quite late, I think, and we've also already talked about so much, but there is even more that topics that all came with the version 13r3 that we haven't even touched yet. One actually really exciting one for me, even though it states only for app developers, is the enhanced SDK, but also the new text interface, speech to text, where you can actually connect to a IBM Watson, for example, and yeah, it just basically transcripts everything you say in the conference. So,
but not only that, it just does the just doesn't transcript it only, it even translates it.
Oh, wow.
That is what I found impressive.
Wow, that is very impressive. Yeah. So yeah, also try that one out. It's very well documented in our SDK. App platform replication, that we have then now a redundancy there too. Recordings, Christian has already said some of that. Well, actually, this one we have already talked about. Yeah, a lot of it, some very interesting one, having talked about security, is also that we now support TLS 1.3. So just for you to know that we stay up to date, security is still one of our main pillars and one of our focuses. So yes, we also do that. Anything else that is
not on that slide?
Oh, okay. So this is a very busy slide and also in a very confusing language. What we just wanted to show you is this is an extract from our forum actually of feature requests. And a lot of them, and actually those on the list here, all of those we actually put in the version 13r3, and there are some quite interesting ones, correct?
Yes. For me, for example, there of course there were some stuff where I would never have expected it, like the for the fax, you know, that the sending message, but it was
a lot of votes, Yeah.
But on the other hand, there were several topics, like as we see on the left top corner, for the terminal server solution. And for me, with the Softphone RCC app that we have released, that solves exactly these issues in a, let's say, in a very practical way. So you are able to have voice out of a terminal server environment, and that is actually what the people wanted to have. Always.
Yeah, that is actually a fairly common scenario even, and it's great that we have a really good solution for this now. Yeah, and another one which is there put there in fluent German is actually personal Outlook contacts or local Outlook contacts. Yeah, I was also amazed like how the little plus with the contacts, how desperately needed that was. But yeah, and what we also have done it now is that you can actually see when your mom is calling, for example, it will also show that your mom is calling and not only the number.
Yeah.
And what we also wanted to show you actually with this is that yes, it is actually worth looking into and posting into the forum, or also looking into the already existing suggestions, because especially like our developers really take a look at it, and we have a fulfillment rate for this release of over 70%. So yeah, of course, yeah, do that. Go to the forum, be active in it. We take it seriously, and this also helps us a lot. So there is a new version 14 forum actually already. So yes, we are looking into it and working for the next. Yeah, last but not least, if you want to know more, because there is a lot more, as I've said, and want to get in contact with us again, have some good food, for example, yeah, join us on our roadshow. This year we have the dialogues again, and quite soon actually.
Yes.
Yeah. In all the different regions, which is why we also mention it here, because yeah, all the people from different parts of the world have actually called in. So yeah, join us at least at one of those locations. If you, yeah, be it in Warsaw, in Lyon, Verona, Madrid, or actually for all the rest here in Sindelfingen at our headquarters, you know, yeah, come here, and we're looking forward to actually, yeah, be together, talk to you, and yeah, find solutions for the future. Well, that's it already.
Nearly, actually, because one thing from my perspective was missing. That is what we have now presented when it comes to the version 13r3 features from our side. But what I found impressive is how the app developers, the development from our partners, what happened actually there. And there I can always recommend really to everyone, have a look at the third-party apps from our partners. And for that, can we give me the mouse, please?
Yep.
Again. So
that is actually true, yeah, because the world of myApps obviously becomes just so much more interesting and useful with all the partner apps.
Yes.
Actually. Yeah.
So everyone, you can go to innovaphone.com. Yes, of course I accept cookies. I just changed for today to English. And there you have the category of myApps and an overview of all apps. And what you find there are the apps from us. Is it the license free? Of course, the ones who that cost a little bit. But there you have an overview, for example, of a lot of other apps.
Yeah, wow.
So is it from the Media Runway, for example, that I find very impressive, or for example, from FX. And why do I actually choose FX for today? It's because of two reasons. Reason one, for example, with the send number in a to-do list app, these are apps free of charge. Everyone can just use it. With the send number app, you can choose with which number you want to call out as a user. That is really a function key that is requested so often, and they provide it for free. Or the diversions app, which gives you as a user the possibility to define the diversions for internal and external users, and that one can be bought via our price list, which makes it actually for you as a partner incredibly easy. Just to use it, just to place it at your customers, and just to play around with it. And as said, there's a huge bunch of apps. Just play around with it. I can tell you, it's worth it.
Yeah, that's actually true. It's very easy to also give it to the customers. Then, you know, just to try it out. If they're using some ISCs, then just have two ISCs ready, so to say, and they can try it out. Yeah, true. And this is actually another exciting world out there, steadily growing actually, our app world. yeah, just try it out. For example, I actually use the to-do list. It's very simple, but this is actually why I like it. It's quite useful. It's a good point. Who of you has already tried, sold, bought for himself actually a third party app, or basically, have you done that already? Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So let's see, what are the results? Susan.
So the results are that 29% say that they have already downloaded, used, or sold a third-party app, and 71% did not so far.
Okay. Then to all of these 71%, just try it out, or would my favorite be just develop your own app? That would be actually one of the coolest possibilities to use myApps. And actually, you've said something very interesting. You've talked about ISCs and the rental model. What is very important to say on that point as well is that you are able, actually, that is not a 13r3 feature, that's why we haven't mentioned it, that you can combine your bought licenses with ISCs. So you can just play around with the recordings app, with the myApps conferencing and the myApps meeting, or of course, just to use the third-party apps for an amount of time for your end customers, for yourself, for very low money, for little money, huh? For very little money. So yes, use that combination. For me, that's one of the biggest, one of the huge value adds for you as a partner to place it at your customer side, and for the customers to try it out for very little money. Okay.
Correct. All right. Then, yeah, thank you very much. If there are any questions left, or if just some come up, basically, yeah, you can always contact us, get in contact with us. Well, yeah, see you at the dialogues latest, right? And thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, have fun with myApps version 13r3.
Bye-bye.
Bye.